Hello, friends. Welcome to our live stream, which is specifically designed for business tips and tricks. And today we are talking about some of the business ideas which may emerge from India becoming a mobile destination in next few years. So let us find out what has happened in the recent times. Well, friends, this information is related to the mobile industry. In fact, there has been a major push that the Indian government is doing and asking mobile handset producers to set up their factories in India. So make it in India, for India, and for the world. That is the motto behind this initiative. And Samsung has set up a huge plant to manufacture all kinds of mobile devices from India. So they have their own plant in their own native country, and also they had a plant in China, which they are slowly shifting to India, and they are also working with Indian partner who are now manufacturing mobile devices on contract for Samsung. Well, there are many factories these Indian partners have located across length and breadth of India, and it's not only one partner having one factory. So India is now becoming one of the major handset manufacturing destination. Now India is number 2 ranked, with Samsung major production happening out of India. And as you know that Samsung globally has the world largest market share in terms of the handset usage, followed by the Apple. Now Apple is very similar to Samsung, because Samsung has multiple devices, multiple options. That is why they are able to capture a bigger segment. But if you look at the Apple, they have very few devices, and Apple is still very widely used and very widely loved product by the users. In fact, I am also a Apple user when it comes to devices, but they have only few devices. They have iPhone, iPad, and a couple of other accessories. So with just few devices, they are actually able to garner similar market share as much as Samsung, which is commendable. And that is why we must say that Apple is one of the premium handset manufacturing company across the world. And there are a lot of fans, and the ease of use that Apple provide is uncomparable. So in terms of ease of use and things like that, Apple has a very advanced technology, and they keep adding new things to their mobile handset, keep enhancing the same device with every revision. So that is the core difference between Samsung and Apple. But between these two brands, the almost like 90% market share of the handset devices is covered between these two brands. And since Samsung has already moved their facility out of China into India, and India is becoming Samsung's world largest facility of producing the Samsung devices, now Apple is striking a chord with Indian government, and they are now doing the tie-ups and also setting up their own facility in India. And these tie-ups are basically with the local partners who have the capability to produce high-end mobile devices as per the specification given by these global giants. So there are factories available in India which are working with Samsung and other brands. Same factories infrastructure will be available for Apple to produce their iPhone devices out of India. So these partners will have to set up separate unit and all that. So that is between Apple and this partner, what kind of contract they sign up with. But the idea is that Apple is now shifting base from China, out of China, and bringing it to India. And they are saying that India is also a big consumer market for Apple. products, and India can also be a very good place for producing low cost mobile devices, which can be exported out at which will bring the cost of distribution, also bring the cost of the handset development, pretty much like China. So I think this is a new development, and I thought in the business section live stream I will talk about this segment, because very little data is available on this booming business which is emerging in India. Now let's come back to Apple. Apple has already shown that almost 25% of their sourcing globally would happen from India. And that is why this is a big deal, because it is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity that is going to happen. And that is why this is something which is happening, and India also will get access to cheaper iPhone devices by 2025. When I say cheaper, because at this point in time Apple devices are the most expensive. And if you look at the market also, I mean, the people who have the Apple device, they have to shell out a lot of money, in fact almost a huge amount of money to buy a good Apple device. So if the Apple devices are manufactured in India, the cost of these devices will also come down. Similarly, there is another very loyal customer base for Apple accessories. So they have this earbuds, and also the other accessories, a lot of other accessories Apple produces, which get integrated with the iPhone platform. So it has a watch, it has data storage devices, it has Apple TV, and once these devices are integrated together, they work very cohesively. So that is why consumer who, once they shift to Apple platform, they find it very difficult to move out of the Apple, because these accessories work seamlessly with each other, and that is why there is a big market for accessory development. As an estimate, the Indian accessory market for especially only Apple is estimated to be about $1 billion, only accessory, and which is about 10% of the total revenue for Apple. So there is an opportunity for Indian manufacturers to not only produce the high-end Apple handphones, but also these accessories. So earbuds, which has very advanced features of noise cancellation, etc. These Apple watches, which will keep track of a lot of your vital statistics and give you access to almost all applications on your wrist. So you can access them without opening your mobile devices, and so on and so forth. So there is data storage, there is smart home devices, there are so many other, Apple TV, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of such opportunity which are emerging from India, and that is creating a new wave of entrepreneurs coming up in India. Because if this scalability has to be provided for Apple, so that right now they are looking at certain percentage of business coming to India, and how quickly we can win over that business, get it transition out of China into India, then we have to think about it very as an entrepreneur, as a business, that there's an opportunity which is waiting for us to capitalize on, and make sure that we have the right infrastructure. Like some of these partners we have right now, we have 3 large companies who are able to produce for Samsung and Apple on contract basis, managing quality that they want. Okay, so this is not something which is a straight cakewalk for India, because China is still a very potent force, and Vietnam is coming up as also one of the competitors for India. So when you look at the distribution segment, and if you look at where the concentration of the market is, obviously India is a very big market, and again China is also a very big market, simply because 50% of the population lives in these 2 countries. And therefore Asia Pac has a lot of people. I mean, if you look at the consumer itself, out of Europe and out of US, the Asia Pac, Southeast Asia is one of the largest consumer base for electronic devices, and therefore Vietnam is in the Asia Pac region, is also becoming a competitor for India. So they are also ramping up their local facilities. Their cost is also comparable to India. So I think the biggest competition we would face is Vietnam, especially in the electronic business. And in order to improve our odds, the Indian government is also pushing the chip manufacturing in India. And when we talk about the chip manufacturing, it requires a totally different type of facilities other than the mobile manufacturing, because mobile used multiple devices including a chip. So in order to basically compete over the countries like Vietnam, which can ramp up quickly because they are smaller countries, we are now building on technology, and we are trying to see that India as a country can not only support these mobile manufacturers to shift their assembly lines to India so that they can manufacture huge quantities of these devices, but also source this chip manufacturing locally so that the overall cost of the whole package is reduced. And this way we will be able to compete with other competitors. One of them is Vietnam. So friends, this is something which is happening in our business arena, and if you have any thoughts, any suggestions, or any ideas that you would like to share related to this particular information, feel free to shoot your messages, and the best would be to join me live whenever I come live with these business tips and tricks and new information which is happening, to basically inspire some of the viewers of my live streams. So as always, thanks for watching. You have a nice day, and I'd like to say goodbye for today.